Have you ever asked yourself what is the difference between personal branding and personal bragging on LinkedIn? If you don't know the difference between both, then let me tell you the difference right now. I kept asking myself why, when I look at LinkedIn, why there are some posts that intrigued me, that I kept always just reading, and I don't want just this post to finish. While on the other side, when I read a lot of posts, just like 1 second, 2 seconds maximum, and I scroll down to another feed. And I kept asking myself, what is the difference between both posts? What's the difference between both? One that attracts my attention and the other one that I ignore it in only 1 second. Even I move on it. And the difference between both, which is branding and positioning and the bragging, is the game of the story. When I stayed with my friends in restaurants and cafes, what is that thing that makes me always having attention for a friend when he speaks or when he talks, and I just keep my attention with him? Why? What's that reason? It's all about the story. What is that thing that makes me just, when I go inside a movie, I kept always giving my attention till the end of the movie? Isn't it the story? What is that thing when you just go in a presentation and you just check on someone who is giving or delivering a presentation, just giving a fancy presentation, great charts, and giving like a great numbers. But let me ask you that question. After 1 week, will you remember that presentation? Will you remember that charts? After 2 weeks, could probably you remember little. Will you remember the fancy charts? Will you remember the numbers? After 3 weeks, will you remember all of this? The only thing that you will remember inside it, it's the story, the emotions that you give it, or you just get it out of this presentation. It's all about the storytelling. That's why today, what I'm always giving, the difference between personal branding and personal bragging, it's all about the story. Where you can position your story in a different ways. I can have the elements, same elements, I can give it in another story that attracts and grab attention for people. And another way, I can brag with a normal story, but I will not get any value from it. And this is the power of storytelling. And this storytelling will help you position yourself as a CEO or as an executive on LinkedIn. And let me tell you just what are the 5 elements to tell a great story while position yourself as a thought leader on LinkedIn. Here are the 5 elements that I'm going to talk with you about it right now. So element number 1, it's the hero of the story. And when I talk here about the hero of the story, the target audiences. Who are your target audiences? Who are those people that you are talking with them? What are their interests? What are their biggest pain points? What are their challenges? What are their problems? What are these things that they are looking after? And once you just define those elements, or just the hero of your story, then you will be very, 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 very clear about those audiences that you can serve them and you can help them. So before just posting or before just putting anything on LinkedIn, I want you just to think as a CEO or executive, what are those audiences that you are serving them? Because without defining them, you speak to the broad people. And if your message doesn't resonate with them, then they will never come back. So first thing that I want you to identify inside the story or inside your post is the hero of your story. It's not you. It's the hero of the story, which is your target audiences. After identifying the hero, and this is one of the things that I have identified also from a great book by Donald Miller, which is Building a Story Brand. You have to identify the hero in your story. The second thing to make a compelling post, and not just a bragging post, is the second element, which is start with a hook. Look, if you go on LinkedIn, you will see like maybe 2 or 3 lines maximum on LinkedIn during your post. Why we don't have like all the posts just appearing in your feed? You just see like 2 or 3 lines. This is because the algorithm of LinkedIn is working like that. If you can see on LinkedIn, you'll see on the right side, it gives you like 2 lines, and then there is something called show more. And once you click on this show more, it will show you the whole post after it. What are the writings or just the words that the full post after that? Why LinkedIn is doing like that? Because this is a part from the algorithm of LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn see that you give a post, it's interesting and you have a great hook inside it, and people start to click on show more, so it gives some idea for algorithm that this is an interesting post. So the more people they click on show more, the more that LinkedIn will just give more visibility for your post. So I want you as a CEO or as an executive to check and just think too much about your hook. How can you hook people? And there are several ways you can hook people. One of them is just, the easiest way is just asking a painful question to your audiences. You know, what are their pain points? You can ask them questions about that. Or you can give, like most of my posts, what I'm doing, I love the listicle posts. So the 5 reasons to avoid XYZ. The 3 steps to do XYZ. So do such things because people's mind is always wired by numbers. They love numbers. And when they look about numbers, you will show them the interest, and then they will click show more, and then your post will go for another feed for another people. So once you get the hook, then people will start to look in your post. Because I see a lot of CEOs, I see a lot of executives. Maybe the post, it's amazing, but the starting line, I keep saying that it's like fishing. When you're going for fishing and you have your rod, and this rod doesn't have a bait, and when you just throw it inside the sea, what will happen is you'll not get any fish, right? Because you lack the bait itself. But once you put the bait, what will happen is you get a lot of fishes. So hook is exactly like the bait. So maybe you have a great values inside the post, but you lack the hook. So focus too much on getting the right hook, as I stated. So the third element in just creating a great story is you should have like a conflict, or you should stress on a problem. Because a movie without like a devil or a villain, what will happen is it will not be a movie. So you have to show some struggles or some problems inside your post that you can take care of it because you understand your audiences. So you have to compel or just write a conflict you understand, and don't just put a lot of conflicts or a lot of problems, because people will be annihilated and you will lose their interest. I keep giving like advice for CEOs and executives: while you post something on LinkedIn, just tackle one problem for your audiences and just create the conflict around it, because our mind is working like that. When there is a conflict, then there is an interest. Our mind will be always curious to know what is the solution for after posting your post on LinkedIn or just showing it. After creating the conflict, which is the third element inside the story, you have to show yourself not as a hero, but as a guide. In terms of what? You know the conflict, and your audiences are looking now, which is the fourth element, the solution for that conflict. And here it comes your authority. Here it comes your positioning. Not just bragging, it's positioning. You are branding. Position yourself as a CEO or as an executive. You can position yourself as a thought leader if you just show them there is some solution for the conflict that you are creating, and show them this solution. And I keep saying that also, don't overwhelm people by a lot of solutions. Keep your posts easy. Keep your post always in the right positioning. Not just give them like a lot of just solutions. Not just one or two, a lot of problems, a lot of solutions. No, just tackle one problem or one conflict and one solution to position yourself as a thought leader. So people will understand now, yes, you are giving me such values. And this is the element of the story itself. Getting into the fourth element, as we spoke about it, which is the solution, or just you get them the problems and giving them the solution. The fifth element of a great post or a great story on LinkedIn is a CTA. What do I mean here by CTA? It's a call to action. You have to give them like a call to action at the end of the day. So you have to think about something that they want to have or you want them to do. For example, let's say that CTA just contact me if you want to support. Let's say direct message me if you want something, some action in your mind, or maybe could be a wisdom. Give them like something that they will always remember you, something that intrigue their emotions, not just moving them, not just closing like hard the transition. No, I don't want you to do like that. As a CEO or as an executive, you have to give them something that track or just intrigue their emotions, not just giving them hard. No, I want you just to think about that CTA or that one call to action from your post that they will remember you and they will do it right now after you giving them the solution itself. Those are just the 5 elements of creating a compelling story, which is just, I recap it again. Number 1 is the hero, as we spoke about it. Your hero is your audiences. So identify the right audiences, know their interests, their challenges, and their pain points. And after that, what you can do, which is start creating a great hook inside your post. By creating a great hook, your target audiences will understand that you know them, and also LinkedIn will give you the luxury or the leverage to show your posts to another people that they have the same interest, and you will go for higher reach. So, and the third element, which is a conflict. You have to show some conflict. And I keep saying that you have to show only one conflict to create it, not a lot of conflicts. So people, they can absorb it. The fourth element inside the story, after creating the conflict itself, number 4 is giving them a solution. Only one solution to not just be annihilated or just to lose interest. And the fifth element, which is the last one, is a call to action. Here is the difference between a personal branding and a personal bragging on LinkedIn. You have to position yourself as a thought leader, not just bragging about the achievements, not just bragging about your team. You have to create some story behind it, some story that intrigues some emotions for your target audiences, and they remember you about this story. It's not just about posting, it's about positioning. This is the power of storytelling, and this is what differentiates you from just being a typical CEO or typical executive and a thought leader. This is what will give you some values on it. So this is just about the 5 elements of the storytelling. And if you just need any kind of support, help on just building your thought leadership on LinkedIn, I'm here to help you for just building your thought leadership on LinkedIn as an executive or as a CEO. What you can do, you can reach out to me at any time on LinkedIn. Just write Ahmed Khaled. You will find me on LinkedIn, and I will be here to help you at any time. And I'll see you in the next episode.